Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om. I have no enemies, you can too. There are many people throughout our life that will step on our toes, will cause us great pain, will act in ways that tear apart our ability to remain emotionally stable, our ability to remain in and of ourselves, not contacted with the pain that they caused us. It is very, very hard to take up the idea that there are no enemies in this world. Now, there are people who might have wronged us terribly, even more so for you than perhaps me. Maybe there's somebody who has killed somebody close to you, that has acted in a way that really affected your existence, really affected the way that you live and who you live with. And it will inspire hate, it will inspire animosity, and it will inspire a pain that you will carry with you if you do not understand that we have no enemies. Now, just because I'm saying that I have no enemies, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't respond in self-defense if somebody attacked me or my family, that I wouldn't necessarily even come to killing somebody if I absolutely had to and it was necessary at that time to stop them from whatever they were doing. And it doesn't mean that if I went to court to, prosecute somebody else for what they have done, that I wouldn't put the desire to have them in jail. It simply means that I will no longer carry my enemies. I will no longer carry somebody who harms me or makes me feel lesser than I am or has really hurt somebody that I love. That doesn't mean that I will always be successful in this. It just means that I refuse to carry the burden another human being places upon me simply because they acted in a way that harmed my existence, that harmed myself, that harmed those that I love. To carry an enemy is to give them supreme power over you. And to carry that hatred for that enemy, to carry the hatred for somebody who has wronged you, there's a wide spectrum of actions that somebody can affect your reality through, whether it be small, making a joke in front of friends that kind of seared you, all the way up to somebody killed one of your loved ones or tortured you in some way emotionally, physically, spiritually. It doesn't mean that I won't still feel hatred and that I will succeed in dropping this hatred all the time, but I would highly recommend that you get rid of any idea that you have to carry this hatred connected to a person around with you, because then your enemy has the ultimate power over you, even far past the actions that they forced upon you through their own choices. Let revenge go. Revenge is a strong chain that binds our minds, binds us physically, feeling like we have to respond with equal and terrible action, feeling that we have to carry this hatred within in order to honor those that we lost, or these situations, to honor our own soul in situations where somebody demeaned us. It is a very difficult task, but if we act regardless of hate, regardless of revenge, we can still act against a person. But to carry around that enemy, those chains of revenge and hate that bind us as much as we attempt to bind our enemy, is to give the situation and that person power over us that need not exist, that need not be the defining element of our relationship to our own mind. Because the mind can be bound, if we allow it to be bound, by emotions like hatred, fear, regret, and these can inhibit our own ability to love ourselves and others, our family members, and even those that are wronged. We will love them far greater if we act against a person, yes, to make sure that it doesn't happen again or that they get their just punishment. But you need not carry around an enemy with you. You need not carry that person in your mind and let that person even define a section of the thoughts that come into your head or that you allow to be entertained within your mind. Leave the past behind. Leave it there. Move forward. Become unburdened by what has happened in the past and by the people who have sought to burden you. Because when it comes down to it, the only way to move forward, which if we had a true loved one that was lost by somebody else's actions, if they were a true loved one, they would want you to move forward, even if you were acting against somebody else. So, I have no enemies. You can too. Don't allow your enemies to be carried around by your mind. Focus your mind into action and into letting go of the hatred and the pain and the fear, if you can. I'm not successful in this all the time, like I said, but to attempt to work towards a healthier mental you, to where this situation that has hurt you so much because of somebody else's actions no longer inhibits you, but you learn from it. You learn from the pain, and then you let it go and move on. Move away from the past, move into the future without that hatred. Now, this is coming from a conversation I had with a very dear friend of me that is like a brother to me. And we talked about this some, and we realized that even if we had to beat somebody up because there's no way to stop them, or we had to kill them because there's no way to stop them, in very limited situations where you really have to defend yourself or your family, you don't have to hate, you don't have to seek revenge. If they are captured but they still did something to your family, you don't have to allow that person to inhibit your existence, your mental thought processes, just because they took this action that will always be forever in your mind. Train your mind to work past all of the pain that has been caused to you. Regardless of if it was not your fault or if it was your fault, train your mind to work past it and become a person not inhibited by your enemies. And when you're not inhibited by your enemies, you have no enemies. I have no enemies. You can too. Thank you very much.